The air in the house was thick, heavy with years of neglect. Dust motes floated in weak light from grimy windows. I was here to expose Arthur, a so-called medium. He claimed to speak to the dead. I was here to prove he was a fraud. My hidden camera was rolling. Leo, my actor, played the grieving client. The sofa was stained, the walls crawling with mold, the smell of old cigarettes everywhere. Arthur sat across from us, pale blue eyes pretending to see beyond. Leo sniffled, selling his grief. Arthur closed his eyes, hands trembling, humming a tuneless melody. I watched, waiting for the lies to start. He began, "I feel a presence, a warm, loving energy. Her name is Margaret." I almost laughed. We'd fed him that name in a fake email. The trap was set. This wasn't about ghosts. It was about human deception. Arthur preyed on the vulnerable, and I was here to catch him. He started his act, but I was ready. Every move, every word, I recorded. This was my world, exposing the darkness behind the performance. The evidence was building. Everything was going according to plan. "She's here," Arthur whispered, eyes shut. "She wants you to know she's at peace." Leo sobbed, playing his part. I leaned in. "Can you ask her something only he would know?" Arthur hesitated, panic flickering. "She's showing me a garden. She loved her roses." Leo shook his head. "No, she hated flowers. Lived in a city apartment." Silence. The energy shifted. I pressed, "Are you sure you're connecting with his grandmother?" Arthur's eyes opened, defensive. "Sometimes the spirits, their messages get confused," he stammered. Weak excuse, I had him. The footage was undeniable. "I think we're done here," I said, standing. Leo dropped the act, face cold. Arthur looked defeated. We left him in his house of mold and lies. On the porch, a woman waited, watching us. Her gaze was strange, knowing I dismissed it. We had our evidence, mission accomplished. Or so I thought. The story wasn't over. As we reached the sidewalk, the woman from the porch blocked our path. Tall, intense eyes, dressed in a simple dark dress. Nothing like a typical psychic. "You think you've won," she said, voice steady, emotionless. She handed me a black business card, make-believe, and a phone number. "Arthur is a child playing with toys," she said. "You want to see real power? Make the call. But be warned, once you ask, you must see the answer." Leo tugged at my sleeve, wanting to leave. But I was transfixed. This was a challenge. I took the card. It felt cold. She smiled thinly. "I'll be waiting for your referral." Then she walked away. "Referral?" I muttered. Leo shrugged. "They're all nuts, let's go celebrate." We had exposed Arthur, but her words lingered. It felt like the end of one story and the start of something darker. I slipped the card into my pocket. I told myself I'd throw it away. But I knew I wouldn't. The game had changed. I was hooked. The real investigation was just beginning. I couldn't let it go. I couldn't resist. Days later I called the number. The same cold voice answered, the make-believe woman. "You have a sister, Sarah," she said. My blood ran cold. I'd never mentioned Sarah. "She will have a fall, her right leg. Your brother Mark will lose something important for his work." The predictions kept coming, mundane, intimate details. "You'll go to the store for your mother. She'll ask for milk, bread, orange marmalade. You'll forget the marmalade, it will upset her." How could she know? Then, "Your friend will hear a ringing, like an old movie telephone. He'll call you again and again. Do not answer." The call ended abruptly. I sat in silence, heart pounding. It had to be a trick, research, social media, a setup, but the details were too precise. The orange marmalade, the ringing. I tried to rationalize, but dread crept in. I was a skeptic. I needed evidence, but the fear was real. I told myself it was nonsense. But I couldn't shake the feeling. The predictions haunted me. I was being watched. The game was no longer mine. I was a pawn. The web was tightening. I needed answers, but I was afraid to look. The curse had begun. A week passed. I tried to forget the woman's words. Editing Arthur's footage, I felt victorious. Then my mom called. "Can you get milk, bread, and that orange marmalade I like?" My breath caught. It was happening. I repeated the list in my head, determined not to forget. I bought the milk and bread, but at home, realized I'd forgotten the marmalade. My mom's disappointment was oddly deep. A small thing, but it cracked my skepticism. How could she know? I felt watched, manipulated. That night I couldn't sleep. I called my sister, warning her to be careful. She laughed it off. But the fear grew. The predictions were coming true. I was losing control. The mold on Arthur's wall felt like it was spreading into my life. I was trapped in a game I didn't understand. The curse was real. I couldn't escape it. The fear was alive, and it was growing. 2 days later, my brother Mark called, frantic. "My laptop's gone. I left it in a cab. My whole project, gone." The psychic's words echoed, He will lose something important. This was no coincidence. The laptop was his career. I tried to help, but I knew it was hopeless. The curse was unfolding, step by step. I called my sister, no answer. Panic set in. I texted her, desperate. Finally, a call from a paramedic. Your sister's had a fall, broken her right leg. The world went silent. The predictions were no longer predictions, they were reality. My family was suffering. I was powerless. The fear was overwhelming. I had unleashed something I couldn't control. The curse was real, and it was destroying us. I was desperate for answers, but there was nowhere to turn. The darkness was closing in. I was responsible. The guilt was crushing. I had to find a way out. Before it was too late, the nightmare was only beginning. In the chaos, I'd almost forgotten Leo. Then the calls started. Late at night, his voice strained. There's this ringing, like an old movie telephone. It won't stop. The prediction was coming true. I tried to reassure him, but he was unraveling. He said it started after Arthur's house. He sounded paranoid, desperate. The calls became constant. He accused me of dragging him into this. That woman, something followed us out of there. I remembered. He will call you again and again. Do not answer. I had already answered. Had I made it worse? The next time he called, I let it ring. He called back again and again. I ignored it, terrified. The curse was spreading. I was losing everyone around me. I was the cause. The fear was suffocating. I couldn't escape. The darkness was everywhere. I had opened the door and now it wouldn't close. The consequences were real. I needed answers. I rewatched the footage from Arthur's house. Frame by frame I searched for a clue. Then I saw it, the woman on the porch. And behind her, a shadow. Tall, thin, featureless. A void in the shape of a man. It moved as she stepped forward. It was there for less than a second, but it was real. No one else had been there. My blood ran cold. I zoomed in, but the image dissolved into noise. I knew what I'd seen. A presence. A dark energy. Was this her power? The source of her knowledge? This was no scam. I had video evidence of something impossible. I had invited it into my life. The investigation had become a nightmare. I was in over my head. The darkness was real, and it was watching me. I couldn't deny it anymore. My skepticism was gone, crushed by impossible events. The marmalade, the laptop, the broken leg, Leo's madness, the shadow, it was all connected. A curse set in motion by my call. I was the source. My family was suffering because of me. I wanted to expose a lie, but found a terrifying truth. This wasn't about ghosts. It was about survival. The black business card sat on my desk. I'll be waiting for your referral. Referral. Did I have to pass this on to be free? The idea was monstrous, but fear is a powerful motivator. I was trapped. No one would believe me, but I had the evidence. The scars on my family, Leo's voicemails, the shadow. I knew it was real. I had to act before it consumed me. I'm writing this as a last resort. The fear is constant. Every call, every siren is a new prophecy. My family is suffering. Leo is unraveling. The woman from make-believe waits for my referral. The only way out is to pass the curse on. I've fought it, but I'm at my breaking point. This post is my referral. You, reading this, are my referral. I know it sounds insane. I thought it was just a story too. Before the marmalade. Before the fall. Before the shadow. I'm giving you all I know. I'm giving you the warning I never got. The choice is yours. You can close this page, laugh it off, forget it. Or you can become part of the investigation. If you're curious, you won't let it go. The story is in your head now. The only way out is to see it through. Here's the number from the black card. Please, make the call.